Hare Krishna. Namaste. Chapter 5, entitled as Karma Sannyasa Yogam. Sloka 24. Ntaḥ-sukho ntar-ārāmas tathāntar-jyotir sa yogī brahma-nirvāṇaṁ brahma-bhūto dhigacchati. In the 20th sloka, we saw one shouldn't rejoice or lament for either pleasurable or non-pleasurable, unpleasurable things. In the 21st sloka, we saw one must control the external senses. 22nd sloka, we saw one must see the dosha, the defects and faults that one derives from the external pleasure. In 23rd sloka, we saw one must block the urges that cause by kama and krodha, the lust and anger. In today's 24th sloka, we'll see how for such person who's engaged in self-realization program, everything is self, the Atma. That is the enjoyable object, the place of enjoyment, and the tools for enjoyment are all Atma alone. Word by word, meaning, yogī, the yogi who has renounced all the external objects. ntaḥ-sukho has the self, the Atma, as the object that is fit for enjoyment. ntar-ārāmas has the self as his pleasure garden. Tatha, similarly, yah, who, ntar-jyotir, experiences his self by himself. In other words, without others' help. Eva, certainly, sa yogī, that yogi, brahma-bhūto, being self-realized, which means he has realized the Atma as a self instead of falling into the misconception of the body as the self. Brahma-nirvāṇaṁ, the bliss of Brahma. Dhigacchati, attains. The translation, one whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme, and ultimately he attains the Supreme. Here it says, he who derives great joy from experiencing the self, whose pleasure garden is the self, has clear knowledge regarding the self. Such a yogi of mature knowledge attains the pleasure, great pleasure, of delighting in the vision of the self, the Atma, Atma Sakshatkar. Unless one is able to release happiness within, the question is, how can one retire from the external engagement meant for deriving superficial happiness? In other words, unless one understands the greatness of Atma, the benefits of focusing on Atma compared to the material things, one will continue enjoying the material stuffs. Here, three factors are given for us to understand how the material enjoyment requires various elements to finally enjoy something, whereas for enjoying one's Atma, one doesn't need any external factors. We will learn three terms here: bhogam or bhog or bhoga, however one calls it, but the meaning is same, that is sense objects for sense pleasure. That's called bhogyam. Bhogasthānam, Bhogasthān, a place for sense pleasure. Bhogopakaranaṁ, the tools to enjoy the sense pleasure. Bhogyam, sense objects for sense pleasure, that is sukha, ntaḥ-sukho. Bhogyasthanam, a place for sense pleasure, is mentioned here in this sloka as ntar-ārāmas. Ārāmas means pleasure garden, a garden which gives pleasure, a place of enjoyment. It creates happiness through providing nice, cool shade, beautiful flowers, plants, fruits, etc. So, pleasure-giving garden, ārāmas. What it means is, in this case, that a place that gives us enjoyment mood to enjoy the sense object. Bhogopakaranaṁ, the third one is Bhogopakaranaṁ, the tools to enjoy sense pleasure, that is mentioned in the sloka as ntar-jyotir. In the case of pleasure that comes through the external matters, these three must be different for one to experience the happiness or pleasure. Let's see some example. Bhogyam, a mango, a sense object that gives pleasure to the external sense called tongue. So that mango is called bhogya padartha, an object. Bhogasthanam, a place where I want to sit and eat this mango without any disturbances. So no one watches me eating. No one can come and snatch from me. A safe, private, nice place. A place which is conducive for me to eat and enjoy the mangoes to the fullest. That is Bhogasthanam. Bhogopakaranaṁ, that is tools or instruments that I need for eating this mango. In this case, it will be my hands. If the object is, the bhogyam is a beautiful form or a movie, then the upakaranam is going to be my eyes. So it depends on what the object of enjoyment. Accordingly, the bhogasthana and bhoga upakarana will change or vary. One cannot have mango in bathroom. That's not the sthana for one to eat. Likewise, everything changes. So, we can see any pleasure that we derive from the material things. All the three factors will differ. Bhoga, bhogasthana, bhogopakarana. Whereas when it comes to Atma, all the three are one and the same. Let's see that. Bhog, the pleasure-giving object is going to be Atma, the self, not the external object. Bhogasthana, the place that we must be situated, is also going to be Atma, not a movie theater or anything else. Like how the Bhogasthana for material enjoyment creates happiness through providing nice shade, plants, flowers, fruits, etc. Likewise, the Atma also generates happiness through its qualities like knowledge, bliss, so forth. That means when one continues to enjoy the qualities of the self, the happiness that one derives through this will grow more and more. Therefore, the Bhogasthana is also Atma. bhogopakarana, the tools that one will be using to enjoy the Atma, is also going to be Atma itself. As one doesn't need any help from the external senses like hand, legs, eyes, so forth, as a tool to enjoy the self. Hence the Atma itself becomes the upakarana, the tools, instrument to enjoy the Atma. So, bhoga, bhogasthana, bhogopakarana, they are all one and the same, that is self, Atma. ntaḥ-sukho ntar-ārāmas tathāntar-jyotir sa yogī brahma-nirvāṇaṁ brahma-bhūto dhigacchati. Namaste. Hare Krishna.